At some point, almost every creator has this thought. My channel isn't growing the way I want it to. Maybe the problem is the niche. Maybe I need a fresh start. Maybe if I just start a second channel, one that's more focused, cleaner, without all the baggage of the old one, everything would work better. And so they do it. They start the second channel. They split their energy. And 6 months later, they have 2 channels that are both going nowhere instead of 1. Starting a second channel is one of the most common mistakes in YouTube growth. But here's the thing. It's also sometimes exactly the right move, and the difference between the creators who get it right and the ones who don't comes down to one specific question that almost no one thinks of and they ask before they make that decision. I'm going to show you that question, and by the end of the video, you're going to know exactly whether a second channel makes sense for you or whether it would be the thing that finishes off the channel you've already built. Let me explain why the second channel idea is so appealing, because the logic behind it actually isn't that crazy. You've been watching your channel struggle. Maybe the views are inconsistent. Maybe you tried shorts and it polluted your subscriber base. Maybe you went through a phase of posting different types of content and now the channel feels unconfused. And you look at all of the history and you think, what if I just start clean? No dead subscribers dragging down your test audience, no mixed signals confusing the algorithm, no baggage from old videos that don't represent where you are now, a blank slate where you can do everything right from the beginning. That logic makes sense on the surface. And there are some real situations where this is the correct call. I'll get to those in a minute, but for most creators, asking this question, the second channel idea is not actually about fixing the channel. It's about avoiding the hard work of fixing the signal. And those are 2 completely different problems with 2 completely different solutions. Here's what I mean. When a channel is struggling, there are 2 possible reasons. Either the channel has a structural problem, the wrong audience, the wrong niche, content that genuinely doesn't match the creator knows how to make, or the channel has a signal problem. The content is good, but the historical data is working against it and is making it look bad to the algorithm. A second channel fixes a structural problem. It does absolutely nothing for a signal problem. And most of the time when creators think I have a structural problem, what they actually have is a signal problem. Before I give you the framework for making this decision, I want to make sure you understand what starting a second channel actually costs, because most creators massively underestimate this. The obvious cost is time. Every hour you spend building a second channel is an hour you're not spending on the first one. And in YouTube growth, consistency of signal is everything. Splitting your production time across 2 channels almost always means both channels get inconsistent upload schedules, which means both channels suffer in distribution. But the hidden cost is attention. YouTube rewards channels where the creator is genuinely locked in, where every video is the product of someone who is fully focused on understanding what their audience needs and delivering it consistently. That level of focus is hard enough to maintain on 1 channel. Across 2 channels, it becomes almost impossible for anyone who is doing this full time with a team behind them. There's also a psychological cost that nobody talks about. When you have 2 channels that are both struggling, the temptation to abandon one and double down on the other becomes overwhelming. And most creators end up doing exactly that. They cycle between the 2, never giving either one enough sustained effort to build real momentum. Then they start a 3rd channel and the pattern repeats. I've seen this happen dozens of times. The creators who break out of it are almost always the ones who made a hard decision to commit to 1 channel completely and treating the next 90 days as the only thing that matters. Okay, here is the actual framework for deciding whether a second channel makes sense for you. There's 3 questions, answer them honestly. Here's question 1. Is your current channel in the wrong niche entirely, or is it just underperforming? This is the most important distinction. If you started a cooking channel and you genuinely want to make content about personal finance, that's a structural problem. The audience you've built has no overlap with the audience you want to serve. A second channel may make sense, but if you're a YouTube growth channel that's just not getting traction yet, that's a signal problem. You don't need a new channel. You need better content and more consistency on the one you have. All right, question number 2. Have you given your current channel at least 20 videos at the same quality level you're capable of right now? Not 20 videos total, 20 videos at your current skill level with your current understanding of titles, thumbnails, and hooks. Most creators who want to start a second channel haven't done this yet. They've posted 20 videos, but the first 15 were made before they understand what they were doing. You can't judge a channel's potential on videos you made before you knew how to make good ones. Give your channel 20 real shots before you declare it dead. Now, I want to go back to something that I just said. Learning titles is probably the number one thing that I would be focusing on, even if you're pivoting a channel or if you are just trying to get a channel to come back to life. That is something that I see a lot of creators not focusing on, and they're not creating good title hooks. The hook in the title that gets someone to want to click, but also that signals the algorithm. I actually put together a swipe file of 10 of our top outlier title hooks that you can plug into just about any niche. We created this for ourselves so we can go back and refer to titles that have worked if we're ever getting stuck, and I'd love to give you a copy of it. If you'd like that, just comment hooks down below and I'll send it to you. Once again, just comment hooks down below and I'll send you that swipe file. So that way there, you can look at a title that's worked and figure out how do you make that title work for your niche, and you'll be able to plug it right into these templates. All right, question number 3. Do you have a genuine strategic reason for the second channel? Or are you just avoiding the discomfort of fixing the first one? Be honest with yourself here. The legitimate strategic reasons for a second channel are completely different audience, completely different content format, or a business reason that requires keeping the audience separated. Everything else is avoidance, and avoidance never builds channels. If you answered yes to question number 1 and no to questions 2 and 3, a second channel might be the right move. If you answered no to question 1 or yes to question 2, or if question 3 made you uncomfortable, you already know what you need to do. Let me give you the practical path forward for both situations. If you decided a second channel is the right move, don't abandon your first channel immediately. Leave it up, stop posting on it, and treat it as a finished project. The subscribers will stay, the watch time history will stay, and if the second channel takes off and you eventually want to merge the audiences, you will have something to work with. Starting fresh doesn't mean burning everything down. And when you start the second channel, don't repeat the same mistakes. Again, don't repeat the same mistakes. The most common one though is starting too broad. Pick the smallest possible specific audience you can serve exceptionally well. Not YouTube growth for creators who already have 1,000 subscribers and want to hit 10,000. That would be an example. The more specific your initial audience is, the cleaner your signal will be, and the better your test audiences will be from day one. If you decided to stay and fix the first channel, the single most important thing you can do in the next 30 days is post 5 videos that are all targeting the same specific audience with the same tone and depth. Not 5 different experiments. 5 deliberate attempts to send the same clear signal about who your channel is for and what it delivers. Every one of those 5 videos needs a title that a cold audience would click on immediately. Not a title that makes sense to your existing subscribers. A title that stops a stranger mid-scroll, because the only way to rebuild your test audience is to pull in new viewers who engage at a higher rate than your historical base. And the retention on each of those live videos needs to be higher than your channel average, which means your hooks need to be working harder than ever. Every video needs an open loop in the first 30 seconds that the viewer genuinely needs closed. That's what keeps people watching. And watch time is what moves your channel up the trust tier. 5 videos, same audience, strong titles, strong retention. That's the 30-day plan. And like I said, if you want those title hooks, just comment hooks down below and I'll send it to you. Here's the truth about second channels. They're not a growth strategy, they're a reset. And resets only work when the thing that caused the original problem has actually been fixed. If you start a second channel carrying the same habits, the same title strategies, and the same approach to hooks and retention, you're going to end up in the exact same place in 6 months, just with 2 channels instead of 1. The creators who build channels that last really just do the hard things. They stay, they fix the signal, they post consistently, they study what's working, and they double down on it. And they give the platform enough time and data to understand who they're making content for. 1 strong channel beats 2 weak ones every single time. Now, if this video helped you understand what's happening with your channel and you want to go deeper on exactly how YouTube is deciding who sees your videos and why, watch this video next where I break down how to get YouTube to push your videos to the right audience. Watch that video next and I'll see you there.